काला जादू वाला है वो।
Alright, don't panic. I got you. I got you safe.
Run, Lee! Run!
A group of friends was returning from a late-night outing along a remote stretch of road in India, known locally for its strange and unexplained sightings. The night was quiet except for their laughter and joking, the headlights cutting through the darkness. As they casually recorded their drive, something caught their attention, something that would stop them in their tracks.
Light photo do.
काला जादू वाला है वो। काला जादू है वो। काला जादू वाला।
In the middle of the road, illuminated briefly by the passing headlights, a figure dressed entirely in red appeared. It walked slowly, deliberately, as if aware of the car watching it, and vanished just as suddenly into the shadows. This road has long been the source of local ghost stories and mysterious encounters. Yet no one has ever explained why such figures appear, or who or what they might be. The footage ends without resolution, leaving the figure shrouded in uncertainty. Was it a spirit lingering from the past, or something else entirely beyond comprehension? On a quiet night when the world seems safe, would you dare to drive down this road alone? This footage was uploaded to YouTube after a group of friends recorded their hike through a dense, grassy forest somewhere in United States. The video appears ordinary at first, filled with casual conversation and the steady movement of a handheld camera. Around the 1 minute and 9 second mark, however, something unusual begins to take shape in the background. At the time, none of the hikers seemed to notice anything out of place. It wasn't until later, when the footage was reviewed, that the detail became clear. At approximately 1 minute and 15 seconds, a large figure can be seen moving quietly between the trees. It appears humanoid, slightly hunched, with long, deliberate strides that don't match the patterns of known wildlife. Its movement is steady and controlled, almost purposeful, as it crosses behind the group without drawing attention. By 1 minute and 22 seconds, the figure's size and posture become more apparent, prompting comparisons to traditional descriptions of Sasquatch. What stands out is not just its form, but the complete silence and lack of reaction from both the figure and the hikers. By 1 minute and 30 seconds, the figure has already passed beyond the frame, leaving no visible trace behind. The group continues forward, unaware that something unusually large had moved so close to them. There are no sudden movements, no signs of panic, only the quiet continuation of their hike. The moment exists only in the recording, unnoticed until it was too late to question it directly. If something that large could pass within view without being seen, would you tell anyone what you think you saw? Josh and his grandparents had long enjoyed a quiet, secluded life deep in the Appalachian mountains. Their days were peaceful, surrounded by forest and open land, until the neighbors began behaving strangely. They crossed property lines, ignored fences and boundaries, and paid no heed to warnings. What had once been occasional disturbances quickly became constant, and even after reporting everything to the sheriff, nothing changed. Frustrated and unsettled, Josh decided to take matters into his own hands. He began hiding and filming the activity on their land, hoping to capture evidence of what was happening. The footage revealed movements and behaviors that seemed unnatural, people creeping silently, pausing and watching as if controlled by something beyond themselves. Each frame only deepened the mystery, raising more questions than answers. No one knows what truly possessed or influenced these neighbors, and the unsettling behavior continues to haunt the family's memories. Were they acting under some external force, or had something darker taken hold of them? In a quiet corner of the mountains, where the ordinary suddenly feels wrong, would you dare to uncover the truth? This footage and accompanying images were shared on YouTube by a creator known as Fur Boots, recalling an experience from February 2003, shortly after he and a few friends had moved to England. Curious about the paranormal, they spent an evening walking through the streets of London, asking strangers about nearby haunted locations. An older man eventually directed them toward an abandoned psychiatric hospital. When they arrived, the structure had already been demolished, leaving behind only an empty space. Still searching for something unusual, they continued walking for hours until they reached Rotting Valley Park. As the night went on, the group settled into the park, talking quietly, smoking, and taking a few casual photos. At first, nothing seemed out of place, and the surroundings felt calm and ordinary. But as time passed, the air grew noticeably colder, dropping in a way that felt sudden rather than natural. Two members of the group began to shiver without clear reason, even as the others remained still. There was no wind, no visible change in the environment, only a growing sense that something nearby was no longer part of the normal night. During that moment, one of them took a photo while sitting on a bench, capturing what appeared to be an unremarkable scene. It wasn't until later, when they adjusted the brightness and contrast, that a faint, indistinct figure became visible within the frame. The shape lacked detail, yet seemed placed with intention, as though it had been present but unnoticed. Years passed, but none of them could explain what had appeared in that image. If something could remain hidden until revealed by light alone, would you believe it was ever truly gone? Before we go any further, I'd like to ask you for a quick favor. If you are enjoying the video so far, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. We're getting closer to 30,000 subscribers, and once we hit that milestone, a few lucky subscribers will receive a special surprise. Now let's go back to the video. A man recorded this video while hiking through a quiet forest, holding what at first appears to be an ordinary dry leaf in his hand. Sunlight filters softly through the trees, and the surrounding air feels still. For several moments, everything seems normal. Just a simple pause in an otherwise ordinary walk. But as the camera lingers, the leaf begins to move subtly, its edges twitching as if something hidden within is awakening. Small, delicate legs emerge slowly from beneath its surface, each movement deliberate and precise. The leaf shifts as though aware of being observed, and alive in a way that defies immediate explanation. The man does not react abruptly. He remains still, almost hesitant, as if unsure whether to speak or move. There is a strange calm in the scene, contrasted only by the quiet, deliberate motions of the small figure, now visible in the leaf. The clip ends without revealing more, leaving viewers with only the faint image of a living presence in an otherwise ordinary forest. No sound or sudden motion signals the end. Only the lingering question of what truly exists in the quiet corners of the world. If something so small can hide life so perfectly, would you trust what you think you see? A hiker ventured alone along a remote forest trail somewhere in the United States, hoping to enjoy a quiet walk and capture the serene beauty of nature. For several minutes, the woods were still, and the sunlight filtering through the branches, and the only sounds were birdsong and the rustle of leaves underfoot. The calm persisted until a faint sound drew his attention, a subtle rustling somewhere deeper in the trees. He turned his camera toward the noise, and almost immediately, a dark figure appeared, moving upright between the trunks. Its size was imposing, and its pace deliberate yet swift, carrying it smoothly through the forest. There was something unnervingly intentional in its stride, as if it was aware of being observed but unconcerned. The hiker tried to follow, moving quickly to keep up, but within moments, the figure vanished into the dense woods, leaving no trace behind. The forest returned to silence as though nothing had passed through it. The footage ends with only the lingering impression of something large and alive in the trees. If such a presence can vanish so completely before your eyes, would you ever truly feel alone in the forest? While driving home from a hiking trip in India, a group of men noticed movement along the side of a quiet road. At first, it seemed like a typical wild animal, calmly watching from the edge of the forest. But in an instant, the situation escalated, revealing the unpredictable danger of the wilderness just steps away from human activity. The person filming realized too late that a moped rider was unknowingly heading straight toward the animal. Panic and tension filled the moment, as instinct and reaction determined the outcome. Every second felt stretched, the forested roadside suddenly charged with unseen threat and urgency. In the end, everyone managed to get out safely, unharmed, but the sudden encounter left a lingering unease. It serves as a stark reminder that the wild can appear unexpectedly, even on familiar paths. On a quiet road, where danger is hidden in plain sight, would you notice it before it notices you? Chris J. Fish recently posted a GoPro video capturing a skiing trip down a snowy hill. At first, the descent seems ordinary, gliding past rocks and untouched snow. But then, an unexpected slip sends him tumbling into a hidden crevice. The world narrows, snow pressing around him, and panic sets in as he inhales flakes into his throat and lungs, struggling for air. The fall feels endless, disorienting, and Chris's attempts to climb out seem futile. Above him, only glimpses of the sky offer hope, from while the weight of the snow and the tight space amplify every sense of danger.
All right, don't panic. I got you. I got your face. I got you. I got you. I got you.
The video captures the raw fear of being trapped, helpless in a frozen landscape, where a single misstep could turn fatal. Fortunately, a friend nearby reacts swiftly, reaching down to pull Chris to safety. The relief is immediate, yet the memory of the close call lingers, a reminder of how quickly calm can turn to crisis in the mountains. When the snow conceals both path and peril, would you have the presence of mind to survive? During a 4th of July camping trip, 5 close friends set up near a quiet lake in Alaska, eager for fireworks, laughter, and a peaceful night in the wilderness. Being Alaskans, they were no strangers to the eerie quiet of late-night forests, and at first, the evening seemed perfectly normal. The lake reflected the bursts of fireworks, and cameras captured smiles and playful moments along the shore. But when they reviewed one of the photos later, something unsettling appeared. All 4 friends were clearly visible, but behind them stood a shadowy, pale figure, motionless and watching. The photographer insists no one else was present that night, yet the figure is unmistakable. Adding to the unease, the lake itself has a dark history. Stories of drownings, disappearances, and alleged hauntings, casting a long shadow over what should have been a simple celebration. The image offers no answers, only questions and a lingering chill. Was it a spirit tied to the lake's dark past, or something else entirely beyond understanding? When a memory captured on film defies explanation, would you dare to return to that place? While taking their dog for a routine walk through a quiet, almost deserted park, someone noticed something small lying unnaturally on the path. At first glance, it seemed like a simple doll, but closer inspection revealed a far more unsettling truth. The figure was handmade, its body coated in what appeared to be melted candle wax. Strands of real hair were attached meticulously, giving it an eerie, lifelike quality. Clutched tightly in its tiny hands was a handwritten note, carefully folded, as if meant to be discovered by someone who wasn't supposed to. On the paper, a single name was scrawled in careful handwriting: Christopher. The placement of the doll was deliberate, precise, almost ceremonial, leaving no doubt that it had not been left there by accident. Its presence carried a weight of intent, hinting at something ritualistic, on something meant to send a message or cast a curse. Every detail, the wax, the hair, the note, suggested planning and purpose, a silent threat woven into an otherwise ordinary park. Passers-by felt a chill simply standing near it, the air suddenly heavy with unspoken dread. No one knows who left the doll or why, and the park remains marked by the lingering mystery of its presence. Was it a cruel prank designed to frighten the unsuspecting? Or something far darker, rooted in malice and hidden intent, aimed at the person named on the note? When a place you thought was safe suddenly hides a secret designed to unsettle, would you dare to pick it up and confront what it represents? While visiting his aunt's house in Malaysia, a Reddit user discovered an old photograph tucked away on a high shelf, something he had barely noticed as a child. He had always assumed it was simply a scenic landscape from his late uncle's travels in southern China. The image seemed ordinary at first glance, a quiet moment frozen in time. But upon closer inspection years later, he noticed something unusual. In the distance, a large, dark figure appeared, standing alone against the backdrop of the landscape. At first, he dismissed it as a trick of light, a shadow, or even pareidolia, the mind's tendency to see patterns where none exist. However, comparing the photo with others, taken at the same location, revealed nothing similar, leaving the figure unexplained and out of place. No one knows who or what was captured in that fleeting moment, and the mystery remains unsolved. Was it simply a trick of time and light? Or did his uncle unknowingly photograph something extraordinary? When a quiet memory reveals something unexplainable, would you dare to look closer? While hiking along Hobson's Lake Trail in Halifax, a Reddit user discovered an abandoned wooden cabin hidden among the dense trees. As they approached, a chilling sight came into view through a dusty window. A headless doll, dangling from a chain, swaying slightly, as if moved by an unseen hand. The surrounding area was silent, devoid of life or any sign of movement. The contrast between the still, decaying cabin and the unsettling figure inside created a deep sense of unease. Despite the urge to investigate further, the hiker snapped a quick photo and left, their curiosity shadowed by growing dread. Whether the doll was a macabre prank, a forgotten relic, or something far stranger, the sight remained haunting. In a place that seemed abandoned and safe. Who or what left it there, and why? When the ordinary hides something so unsettling, would you dare to enter and see for yourself? A group of children were enjoying a calm day along a quiet trail, laughing and playing without a care in the world. From the dense woods ahead, a large, dark figure suddenly emerged, moving quickly and heading straight toward them. The moment they saw it, panic erupted, voices screaming as they ran for their lives.
Run, run, run!
Despite the terror, the children managed to escape unharmed. But the memory of what they encountered left a lingering unease. Their footage captures every frantic movement, every panicked shout, and the fear in their voices is impossible to dismiss as mere acting. There was something unnatural in the figure's size, shape, and movement far beyond a simple human prank. No one knows what truly approached them that day, and the trail remains marked by their fear. Was it simply someone playing a cruel joke, or something far stranger stalking the forest? When the ordinary woods suddenly hide the unknown, would you dare to walk that path alone?
This intense video was posted by a Reddit user who was hiking through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee, USA, when he suddenly encountered something terrifying. Out of nowhere, a bear cub came charging toward him on the trail. Instead of running, he quickly pulled out his camera to record the moment. But here's the scary part. Where there's a cub, there's always a mother nearby. Imagine being in that situation, standing alone in the woods, with a cub running straight at you, knowing that its mother could appear any second, and we all know how dangerous a protective mother bear can be. Would you stand still and record like he did? Or would you take off running before the mother bear shows up? What do you think you'd do if you came face to face with a cub in the wild, knowing something much bigger might be watching you? The line between reality and nightmare blurs right here. This chilling video was shared by a TikTok user, and it captures one of the most terrifying moments a hiker could ever experience. He was hiking alone at night deep in the wilderness, when suddenly a loud, blood-curdling scream echoed through the dark forest. It didn't sound like any animal he'd ever heard before. His heart started racing, panic setting in. He quickly turned off his flashlight, hoping whatever was out there wouldn't notice him. But the screaming continued, echoing through the trees, strange, haunting and unrelenting. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the forest fell silent again. Imagine being out there. No lights, no one around, and something unknown lurking in the dark. Would you have stayed still like he did, or run for your life through the black forest? And what do you think could have been making that terrifying sound? Every second pulls us deeper into something truly sinister. This terrifying video was posted by Foxweather on YouTube, and it captures a truly heart-pounding moment in a national park. While exploring the park, a man suddenly found himself face to face with a massive moose, its enormous antlers towering above the brush. The giant creature began moving straight toward him, and in that split second, he made the only smart move. He ducked behind a tree, trying not to startle it. He stayed completely still, heart racing, filming the moment as the moose slowly passed by. One wrong move, and things could have gone very differently. Imagine being out there, all alone, with a wild animal that size heading your way. Would you stay calm and hide like he did, or panic and try to run? What would you do if you suddenly came face to face with a moose in the wild? What you're about to witness might haunt you long after this ends. This eerie video was shared by a TikTok user, and it's been giving viewers chills ever since.
Fucking God! Hold on! What is that? Wait a second. Robin, what is that? What the fuck? Robin, what are you doing? Oh my fucking God, it's running! Dude! No fucking way, what was that?
What the hell is that over there?
Two men were out in the wilderness, far from civilization, when they spotted something strange in the distance. At first, it appeared to be a person, tall and upright, motionless. But the longer they stared, the less human it seemed. It wasn't shaped like any animal either, just a creepy, shadowy figure standing still among the trees. Panicked, one of them fired a shot into the air, and in an instant the figure vanished without a trace. Ever since, people online have been debating what they really saw. Some claim it was Bigfoot, others say it was something far more supernatural. So what do you think they encountered that day? Would you have fired that warning shot or turned back before things got even stranger? From whispers to screams, this is the moment you'll never forget. This intense video was posted by Highlight Real Sports on YouTube, and it captures a heart-stopping moment in the mountains. A group of hikers were out enjoying the breathtaking views and peaceful sounds of nature when, out of nowhere, a massive bear began charging straight toward them. Panic instantly set in, hearts pounding, adrenaline rushing, but instead of running, they stood their ground, yelling and waving to scare the bear off. For a few terrifying seconds, it looked like the bear wasn't backing down, until finally it turned and disappeared back into the forest. Relief washed over them, but that's a moment they'll never forget. Now imagine you're hiking in the wild and a bear charges at you. Would you stand your ground and try to scare it off, or turn and run for your life? Could you stay calm in a moment like that? Fear lingers in the silence, waiting for its moment. This terrifying video was posted by DopDoc on YouTube, and it's the kind of encounter no hiker ever wants to face. A man was riding his bike through a quiet forest trail, enjoying the peace and thrill of nature, when suddenly he noticed something moving quickly behind him. He turned around, and there it was, a bear sprinting straight toward him. Panic took over. His heart pounded as he pedaled with everything he had, racing down the trail desperate to find a place to hide. After a few intense moments, he finally managed to lose the bear and escape, shaken but alive. Now imagine yourself in that situation. You're biking alone and a wild bear starts chasing you. Would you try to outrun it, hide, or stand your ground? How would you handle that heart-stopping moment in the wild? The deeper we go, the more terrifying it becomes. This photo was posted by a Reddit user, and what happened next will shock you. In 2014, a 22-year-old student went hiking with his friends in the deep woods of New Jersey. During their trip, he spotted a massive black bear wandering nearby and decided to snap this photo. What he didn't know was that this would be the last photo he ever took. Moments later, that same bear attacked and killed him. It's a chilling reminder that bears aren't just cute forest creatures, they're wild, unpredictable, and deadly. So let me ask you this. If you were in his place, deep in the forest and face to face with a black bear, what would you do? Would you stay calm and take the shot, or drop everything and run? Because sometimes, one brave moment can be your last. The fear doesn't stop here, it only grows. This eerie video was posted by a TikTok user, and it shows a man hiking deep in the Ohio forest when he suddenly hears something truly unnerving, a strange, echoing sound that chills him to the bone. But instead of turning back, he decides to keep hiking, determined to find out where the sound is coming from.
Ones that are worth cut. I hope I got that on audio. And there it is again. And I haven't the foggiest clue what the hell be making that noise out here. We don't have wild pigs. We sure shit ain't got no howler monkeys floating around these woods.
The forest grows quieter, darker, and every step forward feels more dangerous than the last. The mysterious noise continues, almost as if something, or someone, is watching him from the shadows. Now, imagine this. You're alone in the forest, miles from anyone, and you start hearing creepy, unexplainable sounds echoing through the trees. Would you keep going to see what's out there, or turn back before things get worse? And what do you think could be making that sound? An animal, the wind, or something far stranger? What comes next might be the most chilling part of all. This video was posted by State Treasures on YouTube, and what he captured will leave you speechless. While hiking with his drone through a remote mountain range, he discovered something truly mysterious. A dark cave carved deep into the side of a massive cliff. It looked ancient, like it's been there for centuries, but here's the strange part. There's no visible path leading to it. No trail, no steps, nothing. So the question is, how did it even get there?
It kind of appears like the front of the cave, that there was a ledge there that's collapsed and fallen away. Now, I'm not sure how they would get there. It's a sheer rock face, although it does look to the left there that there is actually a ledge that perhaps they could have walked along. Now, looking into the cave, I do see what appears to perhaps be black soot, which could indicate there was actually fires in there. And it also appears like I see perhaps a little fire pit there, with even some black charcoal left over in it. As you can see, there's a series of smaller caves all along this cliff that definitely warrant a closer look. The smaller cave here I found really interesting. It appears there's a log or like a tree trunk, quite long, so I'm not sure how, it's not like it could fall in there, so I'm not sure how it would have gotten in there.
Was it formed naturally, or could someone have made it? And if so, why? What do you think? If you found a cave like this in the middle of nowhere, would you dare to explore it, or turn back before it's too late? Archaeolog Page posted this video on YouTube, and what he discovered will blow your mind. While hiking with his metal detector, he suddenly got a strange signal, something deep beneath the ground. Curious, he started digging, and what he uncovered was beyond anything he expected. Buried inside a block of old concrete were ancient treasures, artifacts that looked like they'd been hidden for decades, maybe even centuries. But here's the real mystery. Who buried them? And why would someone go through all that trouble to seal valuable items underground, where they might never be found again? Was it an attempt to protect something valuable during a war? A secret stash from a forgotten era? Or could it be part of something even bigger? A buried history waiting to be revealed? What do you think? If your metal detector started beeping in the middle of nowhere, would you dig it up or walk away, not knowing what might be hidden down there? A chilling video was shared by a Reddit user, and it captures one of the most intense encounters you can have while hiking alone in the forest. Everything was peaceful, the sound of birds, the rustling of leaves, until he noticed something massive moving forward in the forest trail. A gigantic moose with enormous antlers began walking straight toward him. You could feel his fear through the camera. He quickly ducked behind a tree, barely breathing, hoping it wouldn't notice him. Because when an animal that size decides to charge, there's nowhere to run. Imagine being deep in the forest, no one around, and this huge creature starts approaching you. Would you stand still and face it, or hide and hope it walks away? Sometimes nature's beauty can also be its most terrifying side. What would you do in his place? This chilling video was shared by a TikTok user who went hiking deep in the forest, just to enjoy the calmness of nature. Everything seemed peaceful, until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, a strange, thunderous growl echoed through the trees, loud, deep, and unsettling.
I think it's time to go.
He looked around, but there was nothing in sight. No movement, no sign of life. Just that terrifying sound getting closer and closer. It felt like an unseen predator was watching, waiting. Realizing something wasn't right, he decided to leave before things turned dangerous. But what could have made that sound? A hungry wild animal? Or something far more mysterious hiding in the shadows of the forest? If you were in his place, alone and surrounded by that sound, would you stay and investigate, or run for your life? Sometimes the forest is quiet until it wants to be heard. This fascinating and slightly eerie video was posted by a YouTube channel, Outer Range, who hiked through a mountainous area full of ancient ruins. As he explored deeper, he stumbled upon something truly unbelievable, a 2-story building built right into the mountainside.
That's what I seen when I was glassing, but on the backside, look here, whole nother structure. Looks fairly, wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. See, it's built in, can't wait to get up there and see this.
The structure looked ancient, made entirely of clay and stone standing silently against time. It was clear that people once lived here, but why would anyone choose to build their home inside a mountain in such an isolated place? Was it for protection, a hidden community, or something far more mysterious?
There's like a pocket right over here. Very cavernous area here, but it only goes back maybe 2.5 feet. I don't want to walk in or try to get in because the way this door was built, or it looks a little, let's see if I can brighten this up. I'll just reach in here. It even has an old piece of timber in here that was used for something. Oh wow, this is so, goodness, look at this. Let's see if I can, hopefully you can see the walls they're just black, completely black. So this one little, if I could give you a dimension, it's like 5 feet by 5 feet. But look up here, look up above.
You can almost feel the whispers of history in the cold mountain air. If you were the explorer, would you dare to stay overnight in that old mountain house, surrounded by nothing but silence and shadows? Or would you turn back before discovering what still lingers there? Some places were never meant to be found. Think you've seen it all? This next moment will change your mind. This terrifying video was shared by a TikTok user who went hiking alone through a quiet forest trail. Or so she thought. The walk started peacefully, just the sound of leaves and birds, until she suddenly heard something strange. A loud growling, soft at first, whispering from the bushes. She stopped, looked around, but nothing was there. Then it came again, louder this time, closer. Her heart started racing. What could be inside the bush trying to get her attention when she was completely alone? Fear took over, and she did the only thing that made sense. She ran. But the eerie voice kept echoing behind her as she escaped down the trail. What would you do in that moment? Would you turn back to find out what was making the sounds? Or would you run before it's too late? Sometimes the forest speaks, but not every voice wants to be found. This video was shared by YouTuber Dave Explores, who ventured deep into a remote mountain range, but what he discovered left him speechless. Carved and painted across the Rocky Mountain wall were ancient red drawings, strange human-like figures, and symbols that looked far too deliberate to be random.
It's just insane to think about how old these are and they're still here. It is amazing. Like, I wonder what they were thinking about when they made these, you know? Obviously that one is of a person, but then what's this huge thing that looks almost like a fish in a way? And then a really tall person, look at that, it looks almost like a monster. Huge legs, just going way up. That's crazy to look at, isn't it? Over 200 years old, at least. Got the lizard person, and then whatever that was supposed to be. Looks like a face, doesn't it? That's what that one looks like.
The markings seem to have been there for centuries, weathered by time yet still eerily vivid, as if someone wanted their message to never fade. But what were they trying to say? Were these warnings, ritual signs, or perhaps a message from an ancient civilization that once lived here? If you stumbled across something like this, alone, in the middle of nowhere, would you keep exploring to uncover its meaning, or turn back before discovering something you weren't meant to see? Some markings tell stories, others warn you to leave. This intense video was posted by YouTuber Black Crag, who decided to take his adventure to the next level quite literally. He hiked high into the mountain valley, a place so steep and dangerous that most people wouldn't even dare to go near it. One wrong step and you'd tumble straight down the rocky slope below. Yet, he pushed forward, driven by the thrill of exploration and the breathtaking view waiting at the top. The wind roared wildly, echoing through the cliffs, as if warning him to turn back, but he didn't.
Gonna start concentrating and digging in, but before we do that, look at it. Look at it down the valley. Oh hell, cat bells there. That's stunning. The whole lot, look at it. Right, concentrate now. Let's go straight up here. A little bit polished. So we've got a bit of a decision point here. We can go around the edge here, look around to the left, and then up the back of this crag here, or we can just tackle it straight on. So we're going to go straight on. It looks pretty steep actually. Well, we'll go and have a look. So actually, yeah, as you get a bit closer, you can kind of see that you can just pick your way up anywhere, look, any which way you fancy. So let's try this way first. It is kind of polished, look, see that there? Quite a bit. But we'll go up this central bit here, and then that's pretty much it done, I think. Oh, I need two hands. Oh, got my foot stuck. Yeah, it was okay. It's a bit tricky with one hand and trying to film and point it the right way. But if you do come here, to be mindful, it is polished. It'll be different in the wet as well. And I reckon in the winter, if it ices up, that'll probably stay iced for quite a long time, you know. Even when other places have thawed, I bet it's covered in thick ice. So that's two done. One more to do here, and then it's pretty much straight up, I think. Straight, you know, kind of plain sailing. Get my breath back first. Oh, this looks very straightforward actually. It looks pretty tricky from below because you can't see this shelf, but it's all right.
Standing there surrounded by nothing but clouds and the raw pulse of nature, it was both terrifying and beautiful. Would you ever dare to climb this high just to experience that feeling? The edge of fear meeting the edge of freedom? Or would you stay safe below, watching from afar? Sometimes the best views come with the greatest risks. The fear doesn't stop here. It only grows. This eerie video was shared by a Reddit user, and it captures something truly unsettling deep in the woods. While hiking through the forest during a storm, he noticed the trees swaying violently, almost as if they were alive, fighting against the wind. One by one, the branches began to snap, and the trees groaned like they were about to collapse. The storm raged harder, but instead of running, he stood still, recording as nature unleashed its fury. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying. Imagine being alone in the forest, the wind howling, the trees bending to the point of breaking. Would you keep filming, or turn back before something falls your way? Sometimes, the forest doesn't need creatures or ghosts to be terrifying. Nature itself can remind us just how small we really are. What would you do in that moment? What comes next might be the most chilling part of all. This incredible video posted by YouTuber Josh the Intern might just be one of his most mysterious adventures yet. He discovered an 800-year-old document that described a hidden medieval prison, buried deep in the mountains, a place few have ever seen. Using only Google Maps and his courage, he set off on a long, exhausting hike. After hours of climbing through rugged terrain, he finally stumbled upon something chilling, an ancient stone tower, standing silent in the middle of nowhere. Inside, he found a dark cave, a prison carved into the heart of the mountain.
So I'm just by the structure I could see on Google Earth. And here is the cave we need to try and find a way into. And from here you can almost see that is bricks piled up. That is not naturally done. We'll go explore the structure beside it because it must be related. And hopefully we can find an entrance leading into that cave somewhere around it. Big, big brick walls. Question is, what is this structure? Is there any way inside? Oh, yes there is. Here we go. That is an entrance into the cave. That structure that we saw over there, this building that I'm in now, obviously housed the entrance inside, which confirms for us that this must be the prison. This must have been a guard post. I have never seen anything like this before. Look at this. I mean, it's exactly how it's described in the historical documents. We have found it. Whew, let's go inside and explore. You got a little structure here too. Maybe this is where the bed was? This was really built to be hidden. Here you can actually see a carved actual place here. Maybe they would have put candles to light it at night.
But why would anyone build a prison here? Isolated, unreachable, with no escape and no roads leading in or out. Who were the people once trapped here? Would you dare to hike into the unknown, chasing a mystery that's been buried for centuries? Some secrets were never meant to be found. This fascinating video was shared by Archaeolog, a YouTuber known for uncovering hidden treasures lost to time. While treasure hunting deep in the forest, his metal detector suddenly gave a strange signal. Something big was buried beneath the ground. Curious, he began to dig, and what he found left him completely stunned. Hidden beneath layers of dirt was an ancient box, weathered by time. When he opened it, the contents glittered. Coins, jewelry, and priceless relics, treasures that looked like they had been buried for centuries. But here's the mystery. Why would someone hide something so valuable in a place like this? Was it meant to be protected, or was it never meant to be found? If you were the one who uncovered this treasure, what would you do next? Keep it, report it, or dig deeper to uncover the full story? Every treasure tells a secret. This chilling photo was shared by a Reddit user who was hiking deep in the woods when he stumbled upon this. A doll's head, mounted on a stick, standing alone in the middle of the forest. He snapped a quick picture and turned back immediately. But the real question is, who put it there? Was it meant to scare people away, or is it a warning sign left by someone who didn't want to be found? The woods were completely silent, no one around, just this creepy figure staring back. If you came across something like this while hiking, would curiosity make you go closer, or would instinct tell you to run before things get really strange? Sometimes the scariest things in the forest aren't animals, they're the things left behind by humans. What do you think this could mean? While exploring a remote part of the Appalachian Mountains, a woman suddenly felt like she wasn't alone. As she filmed the quiet scenery, an unexplained sound was captured on camera.
It warmed you up, you know, I'm fucking cold. I felt like there was somebody behind me, but...
Something she didn't notice at the time. The deeper she went, the stronger the feeling of being watched became.
So this is as close as I'm going to get, but y'all can see it's like angled and it goes into the mountain. It doesn't look like it, but it's a little bit more deeper here. My feet would get wet, and these shoes, yeah, no, and it's cold. But yeah, I'm about to head out of here.
Trusting her instincts, she turned back and left. To this day, she still doesn't know who or what was out there with her. In 2021, a lone backpacker trekking near an abandoned quarry in the Balkans noticed something unsettling in the water below. The surface suddenly erupted. Violent splashes rippled outward, churning the water as if something massive was moving just beneath. The camera captures the disturbance clearly, but whatever caused it never fully reveals itself. The sheer force and scale of the movement suggest a creature far larger than anything expected in such a place. With no other witnesses and no further footage, the true source of the disturbance remains a mystery, unidentified and unexplained. A woman, filming in Mexico, had her camera pointed at a tree that had been struck by lightning and was now burning fiercely. As the flames climbed through the branches, something strange appeared.
Pero no está quemada, está intacta.
Esta tampoco se mueve.
Está sentada ahí. Mira, ahí está sentada. Tenía tantos años que no veía algo así, fíjate. Hasta ahorita que los niños lo vieron.
A shape began to form inside the fire, tall, still, and unmistakably human, as if someone were standing within the blaze itself. When the footage surfaced, reactions were instant and divided. Some were convinced it was a witch trapped in the flames. Others dismissed it as nothing more than an eerie trick of light and shadow. No one could say for sure what it was, but the unsettling part was this. Whatever appeared in that fire looked far too human to ignore. A truck driver pulled over on a deserted road in Finland. As soon as he stepped out of his truck, a chilling cry rang out from the frozen forest. It didn't sound like any animal he recognized. With the road empty and no one in sight, he started recording. To this day, no one has been able to explain what he captured. In another unsettling moment, two girls were walking along a quiet beach when they noticed something truly disturbing and began filming. From a distance, it looked like a gigantic spider, something that absolutely should not exist.
Yeah, what are you? That looks like a gigantic spider.
The clip quickly spread online, sparking fear and wild theories. Eventually, many identified it as a spider crab. These massive crabs live in coastal waters, often around places like Australia. They're harmless to humans, But when you stumble upon something that looks like a giant spider crawling toward you, logic is the last thing on your mind. A group of hikers trekking through a remote stretch of desert in Arizona's Sonoran National Monument stumbled upon something that stopped them cold. Embedded in the side of a massive rock was a metal lock, rusted, deliberate, and completely out of place, as if it were sealing off something hidden beneath the ground. They captured the discovery on video and posted it online, and within hours, the internet erupted with theories. Was it a forgotten bunker, a sealed mine, or something not meant to be found at all? What could possibly be locked away behind it? On October 26, 2013, near Lake Tacony in East Texas, a group of people were inside a house when something strange happened. Their cat suddenly bolted, scattering through the room as if something outside had terrified them.
Well, we were sitting around hanging out and watching TV, and cats were laying right here at my feet. Next thing you know, they get up and take off running, tails puffed out, so heard something they didn't like. Been some strange sounds. Heard a few bangs on the house, so they heard something they didn't like, so went outside and check it out.
They had already been hearing unexplained noises, heavy bangs striking the house coming from different directions. Uneasy but curious, they stepped outside to investigate. That's when the atmosphere changed. The dogs nearby began barking wildly. A light was switched on, cutting through the darkness, but instead of comfort, it brought a chilling realization.
Dark. It's coming from the light east of here, down by the light.
It felt like something was out there, watching them, following from a distance. Then they heard it. A sharp, piercing howl erupted from frighteningly close range. In that moment, panic took over, realizing they were in danger. The group sprinted back toward the house, racing through the darkness as fear closed in around them. The video ends there, leaving behind only the sound, the fear, and the question of what was really lurking outside that night. While hiking through the remote stretches of White Mesa, a hiker stumbled upon something unsettling, a trail of massive footprints pressed deep into the ground. Each print measured nearly 20 inches long, strikingly human in shape, yet far larger than any footprint known to belong to a documented individual. The tracks were clear, intact, and impossible to dismiss as natural distortions. Given White Mesa's long history of reported Bigfoot sightings, the discovery quickly fueled speculation that the footprints might belong to something far more mysterious than an ordinary passerby. This clip was posted by a Reddit user who was out camping deep in the woods when something truly unsettling caught their eye. In the shadows between the trees, a huge, hairy figure darted across the forest floor, fast, heavy, and nothing like any animal they'd seen before.
О, вон, передвигается. Чучело.
Смотри, ветки шатаются. Смотри.
О, побежал. Я заснял его.
Как испугать его, пошли.
Я заснял.
Смотри.
Ё-моё.
Будет килограмм 200 весит.
Угу. Видел, как он своими лапами машет?
Смотри,
вон.
2 метра рост.
Ёп.
Я боюсь.
Надо отдать эту съемку в НТВ. Чрезвычайное положение.
Побежали.
Пошли за ним.
It wasn't attacking, It wasn't running toward them. It was just there, lurking, jumping between the trees as if watching from a distance. They had no idea what they were witnessing. A wild animal? Something unknown? Something not meant to be seen at all? If you were out there in the dark, miles from help, what would you think that creature was? Would you stay and film, or run for your life? A man walking alone through the night suddenly noticed movement in the bushes. What emerged made his blood run cold.
A la verga, güey, ¿qué es eso, güey? Esa mierda. A la mierda.
A strange figure, thin and unnatural. At first glance, it resembled an elf, but the longer he stared, the more he realized it was something far more sinister, something that didn't belong in this world. What could that be? One cold winter night, a young man was heading home when traffic brought the main road to a standstill. To avoid the jam, he took a detour through Wanaharang Jampang, a quiet village infamous for its unsettling legends. The road was dark, cracked, and almost deserted, so he decided to record the drive on his phone. At the time, everything seemed ordinary. But later, when he replayed the footage at home, he noticed something strange. Faint, eerie noises echoed in the background, sounds he hadn't heard while driving. He watched the video again, heart racing, and the noises were still there. Unexplained, chilling, and impossible to ignore. A team of men from the United Kingdom was making their descent down Agile du Midi, a mountain notorious for its razor-thin ridges and treacherous exposed paths. The slopes were unforgivingly steep, where even a single misstep could mean a plunge into the abyss. Suddenly one of them slipped. Instinct kicked in, and he thrust his ice axe into the snow, halting his fall by mere inches. The mountain was far steeper than it looked on camera, and the narrow ridge offered almost zero room for error. One false move here could have spelled disaster. Shaken but determined, the climbers pressed on, hearts still racing, fully aware of how narrowly they had escaped. Imagine having to carry on after flirting so closely with the edge. One cold winter evening, Alexis was startled by strange noises coming from an upstairs room, a room that should have been empty. She cautiously went to investigate, finding nothing out of place, yet an unsettling feeling clung to her. Deciding to be thorough, she set up a camera to monitor the room before returning downstairs. Later, when she reviewed the footage, her blood ran cold. After adjusting the brightness, a tall, shadowy figure slowly emerged from the closet doorway. A hand appeared, followed by part of a head. Then both vanished back into the darkness. Whatever had been in that room, it definitely wasn't supposed to be there. This group set out to explore one of America's most dangerous and adrenaline-pumping trails, Angel's Landing in Zion National Park. It's a hike known for its brutal exposure, with sheer 1,000-foot drops on both sides and a razor-thin ridge where only a chain separates hikers from empty air. It's widely considered the deadliest hike in the country, and one look at it explains why. One slip, one shaky step, one moment of fear, and it's over. Yet people still climb it, chasing the thrill, the view, the feeling of standing on the edge of the world. But would you risk your life for a moment like that? Is any view worth standing inches from death? Reddit user A Drift to Oblivion was jogging along a quiet trail at 4 AM when he suddenly froze. Up ahead, a figure loomed at the edge of the path. Its face was twisted and unnatural, something that didn't belong in this world. Heart racing, he inched closer, only to realize it was just a snowman. Yet, even knowing that, it didn't feel any less unsettling. The way it stood perfectly still, bathed in the dim eerie light, made the silent trail feel like a scene from a nightmare. Imagine coming across that in the dead of night. A Reddit user known as OG Cheddar Goblin shared a chilling image sent to him by a friend, captured by the friend's uncle's trail camera. At first glance, the photo looks normal. A deer stands frozen in the frame, but then you notice what's right behind it. A tall, human-shaped figure looms only inches away. It could be someone wearing a hoodie, but that's where the unease sets in. Deer are extremely alert animals. They don't let anything, especially a human, stand that close without bolting. Even more unsettling, the deer appeared in multiple photos from the same camera, clearly real and consistent. The figure, however, showed up only once. So what was it? A person who vanished without a trace? A trick of timing and shadows? Or something else entirely that the deer somehow didn't sense, or didn't fear? That single unanswered moment is what makes the image so disturbing. A group of friends was camping deep in the woods late one night when an eerie sound echoed through the trees. One of them laughed it off and mimicked the noise as a joke. They listened.
Wait, do it again.
Yeah.
Watch it. Won't. Do it again.
Yeah.
The same sound answered back, this time from deeper in the forest. They tried it once more. That's when they noticed it.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Bug, you might be right.
That is not a fucking owl.
That's not an owl. Do it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A faint shape stood motionless to the right, partially hidden between the trees. The darkness and distance made it impossible to tell what it was, or if it was even human. Uneasy and unsettled, they packed up and left. So what do you think? Just an animal? Or something else entirely? Late one night, a woman was walking alone along a forest trail when she noticed something deeply unsettling ahead of her. Standing in the distance were 4 figures, all dressed head to toe in white, each wearing what looked like a mask. Frozen with fear and unsure of what she was seeing, she quickly snapped a photo and hurried out of the area. The footage was later uploaded, confirming that she made it out safely. But the identity of those eerie figures and what they were doing in the forest that night remains a mystery. Reddit user Jaxifried shared a chilling photo taken during a trip to Gettysburg in November, a place he and his wife knew well. They had visited the area several times before and had even gone ghost hunting earlier in June, using basic investigation equipment. During this particular visit, they returned to a historic bridge rumoured to be connected to the hanging of 2 Confederate soldiers. At the time, everything felt normal. They snapped a few photos, sensed nothing out of the ordinary, and walked back to their car. It wasn't until they were seated inside the car, scrolling through the images, that something unsettling caught their attention. An unexplained figure appeared in one of the photos, something neither of them had seen with their own eyes while standing there. Jaxie's wife had been right beside him, looking in the same direction, yet neither noticed anything unusual in real time. To this day, they say they have no logical explanation for what showed up in the image. What was meant to be a quiet visit to a familiar location may have resulted in what they believe is one of their most compelling pieces of paranormal evidence. A group of friends were out on a peaceful hike with their dogs and decided to snap a quick casual selfie. At first glance, the photo looked completely ordinary, nothing out of place. But later, when they looked closer, something unsettling caught their attention. In the background, a hand appears to be resting on one person's shoulder. The problem? According to the group, there was no one else on the trail that day, only the 4 of them. No stranger, no passerby, no explanation. Even more disturbing, there's a faint white shape between the man in front and the person behind him, almost as if someone is partially hidden in the frame, deliberately positioning themselves to create the illusion of something unnatural? Is it just a trick of lighting and angles? Or did the camera capture something that wasn't supposed to be there? Late one night, a man was riding across a bridge infamous among locals for eerie encounters. As always, his helmet camera was rolling. The road ahead was empty, no traffic, no sound, just darkness stretching across the bridge. Then, without warning, an old motorcycle tore past him at terrifying speed.
Detik-detik penampakan motor siluman di jembatan angker. Saat kamera merekam perjalanan malam yang sepi, tiba-tiba sebuah motor tua melintas tanpa pengendara. Lampunya menyala terang, melaju sendiri di tengah gelapnya jembatan. Warga sekitar menyebutnya motor siluman.
Instinctively, he turned to look back. There was no rider. The headlight had been unmistakably bright as it approached, yet seconds after passing him, the motorcycle vanished, swallowed by the darkness, leaving no sound, no trace, nothing. According to locals, this wasn't the first time. People from nearby areas claim they've seen it too. A mysterious motorcycle that appears only after nightfall, speeding across the bridge before disappearing as if it was never there at all. So the question remains, was it just an illusion, or something far more unsettling? While driving along a remote stretch of highway near Joshua Tree, California, a passerby spotted something that didn't belong, a strange sculpture standing alone in the desert. Curious, they pulled over to investigate.
Alright, for everybody thinks it's AI, this ain't it. I'm not here right now. It's not lit up right now, but as you can see, it's off the side of the road on Highway 62, Joshua Tree, California. It's actually, the highway's over here, as you can see. The statue is out here in the desert.
There were no signs, no permits, no explanation. Just the structure, isolated against the endless sand as if it had appeared overnight.
Other people showing up. Let's go take a walk around the backside of it. You guys can see what it looks like. Pretty creepy.
A video of the discovery was posted online, and the internet quickly took notice. Some viewers claimed the sculpture looked unsettling, almost demonic. Others dismissed it as experimental modern art. Many suspected it was an elaborate marketing stunt, possibly teasing a new video game or film. But despite the growing attention and countless theories, one question remained unanswered. Who put it there, and why? Rosa was outside with her family in Mexico when, late into the night, something strange appeared in the sky. Out of nowhere, a massive, dense cloud rolled in and swallowed the entire night sky. But this wasn't like any cloud they had ever seen. It moved too fast, arriving suddenly, filling the sky, then disappearing just as quickly.
Boludo, es una...
Mirá, aquí estaba.
Es una capa. Yo cuando dije, uy, parece...
Mirá, avanza rapidísimo. What the fuck, chicos.
Se está haciendo de día.
Boludo, ¿qué onda?
Necesitamos algo paranormal pase.
Mira, son 2 capas de nube. ¿Te diste cuenta? ¿Te diste cuenta o no?
Sí.
The video shows the clouds surging in and pulling away, with no sign of rain, wind, or any weather change before or after. One moment the sky was clear, the next it was completely consumed, and then it was gone.
Ay, boludo, tengo miedo.
Fin del mundo. Nos teníamos que juntar los 4 por eso.
Amigo.
Boludo, minuto y medio, y mirá lo que pasó.
De la nada se cubrió todo el cielo de esa nube.
Es como la escena de Harry Potter que tipo cubren todo el castillo para proteger tipo mal.
Yo lo veo como...
It left the family stunned. Was this just a rare natural phenomenon, or something far more unusual? A man set out to photograph a quiet forest for an art project, never expecting to find anything unusual. It wasn't until later, while reviewing the images, that something disturbing caught his eye. Zooming in, he noticed a tall humanoid figure standing motionless between the trees, seemingly cloaked in dark clothing. He insists no one else was anywhere near the area at the time. To this day, the identity of the figure remains a mystery. Was it the sign of a secret ritual hidden deep in the woods, or an elaborate hoax designed to deceive. In late October, a trail camera picked up something unsettling deep in a remote stretch of woods. The timestamp read 4:37 a.m., an hour when the area should have been empty. The figure moving through the frame looks almost human at first glance, but something is clearly off. Its neck and arms are unnaturally long and thin, and it walks with a hunched posture, its arms swinging far wider than normal as it moves at an eerie pace. According to the camera's owner, the location is miles away from any road or marked trail, making the appearance even harder to explain with no precise details about where the footage was taken, what or who was captured that morning. The mystery remains an unsettling one. In the early hours of the morning, around 4 a.m., Omar was on the job as a plumber at a residential property when he noticed something unusual, a woman walking along a nearby trail. What happened next was downright chilling. He stepped outside and captured videos that would leave anyone on edge. Omar described her as looking like a full-grown adult, definitely not a child or little person.
¿Será que aún andaba dormido?
Vine a dejar material en esta casa. Ya ahorita son a las 4 de la mañana y justo que me parqueo acá y pongo las luces y de aquel hoyo que está ahí, de ese hoyo, de ese árbol. Miren, es algo, me da escalofríos, le voy a decir, pero justo de ese hoyo he podido ver yo cómo una persona se metió, se convirtió.
Viewers were instantly creeped out, spinning wild theories. Could she be a witch? Or perhaps the tree hole nearby was some kind of mysterious portal. Others guessed she might just be a homeless person. Whatever the truth, there's no denying that it's undeniably eerie. Earlier this year, a Reddit user shared a chilling photo taken just after a car accident. Everyone involved had already climbed out of the vehicle and was standing safely on the roadside, still visibly shaken. The user snapped 4 photos of the scene, but only one came out clear. In that single image, a figure can be seen standing by the driver's side door, someone who, according to the user, wasn't actually there when the photo was taken. The shape looked human, resembling a man, and what made it even more unsettling was that it reminded the user of their grandfather, who had passed away when they were just 12. To make the moment eerier, the accident had occurred near a cemetery, leaving the user and anyone who sees the photo wondering if something beyond the ordinary had appeared that day. One morning, while hiking in Fiji, a woman heard strange, thunder-like sounds echoing from the sky. There was something unusual about the noise. She'd heard it several times before she even started recording.
Okay, I don't know if my phone will pick this up or not, but I've been outside for like 15 minutes, and the thunder sounds bizarre. What is that? I'm a 7th generation Floridian, and I have never heard thunder like that.
As a 7th generation Fijian, she had never experienced anything like it in all her years. When she shared the video online, it sparked a wave of speculation. Some viewers suggested it could be a rare natural phenomenon, while others thought high-tension power lines nearby might be responsible. To this day, the true source of the mysterious sound remains a mystery. In 1999, a family gathered around a bonfire on their land, marking the spot where they planned to build their new home. The mother brought along a disposable camera and asked everyone to pose for a photo. One of her sons refused to step closer to the group. He couldn't explain why, only that something felt wrong. She took the picture anyway. Years later, when the film was finally developed, the family was horrified by what they saw. Standing among them was a man, clear as day, a figure none of them recognized. No one else had been on the property that night. To this day, no one knows who the man was or how he came to be in the photo. Some believe the boy sensed something the others couldn't. Even more unsettling, people who've studied the image claim there are additional shapes hidden in the shadows. Can you see them? A group of friends set out early one morning expecting a calm, carefree hike through the wilderness. The sun filtered softly through the trees, birds chirped overhead, and everything seemed perfect. That sense of peace, however, was shattered in an instant when they unknowingly stepped into a hidden patch of mud that behaved eerily like quicksand. For a heart-stopping moment, panic set in. Feet sank, hands flailed, and shouts of alarm echoed through the forest. It felt like the earth itself was trying to hold them captive. But amid the fear, they didn't give in. Together they strategized, helping each other stay calm and slowly work free from the grasp of the treacherous mud. Minutes later, dripping and covered in muck, they finally stood on solid ground again, hearts still racing. Shaken but safe, they couldn't help but laugh at the adrenaline-fueled ordeal, grateful that teamwork and a little luck had pulled them through unscathed.
Now, drop a comment with the scariest thing that's ever happened to you outdoors. And if these clips genuinely creeped you out, hit like. Subscribe too, because your story might end up in the next compilation.